Alright, what is up everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool video back in Midwest Adventure in Planet Coaster 2. Today we're going to be working more on the dark ride, the log flume dark ride, which is turning out pretty good, so I'm pretty excited. I'd say we get probably, I'd say we're about at least halfway done with the indoor portion of the ride, and we still have to do another turnaround, the drop, and then the return back to the station. And then basically we'll be pretty much good to go. So we get kind of like this one big scene kind of going around this turn and the straightaway section. I had kind of a little bit of an idea for this area. Again, this isn't like something too crazy or by any means, but I'm kind of experimenting with a lot of the animated pieces where we can actually animate any sort of our scenery pieces using those pieces that we have. So hopefully we get more of those in the future that allow a little bit more customization, but honestly just being able to animate any of the pieces right now is pretty amazing at the moment. So we can start off by getting a lot of these platforms done, these little concrete pieces that go alongside the actual flume itself, and then we're going to create the scenes afterwards, just to kind of get the kind of the space established, and that way we know what kind of space we're working with for the scenes. So we'll get the scene built, and then of course we'll do the lighting at the end to kind of get the lighting that we want for the scene, and then all the triggerable items that we want to do as well. So we do kind of two different triggered areas here, or two different triggered pieces here for this next scene. So basically I had the idea of, we're gonna have that same theme of those red glowing eyes kind of appearing in almost every scene at this point. And basically here the glowing eyes are actually going to move using one of the animated pieces, and it's going to get next to this little cabin, which we do have a cabin at the beginning of the ride, but this is going to be another cabin in the forest. But this one's actually going to catch fire once the eyes get near it. So basically the eyes are going to move close to it, and then it's going to catch fire, which we'll get into that build here in a little bit. But first, for this first little turnaround, I just kind of wanted to do kind of a scenic view as we turn around into that scene. And for that, we're just going to do like this little waterfall off these rocks here that kind of go into the river. So, and using a lot of these like star panel things that are, since we don't have like a star panel piece in the game at the moment, I just kind of made my own throughout the ride, which you've probably noticed in the previous episodes. And I like doing these little log supports, which kind of make it look more like a forest, like they're really tall trees that you can't see the top of, and just some smaller foliage once in a while here and there as well, to kind of give that idea that you're in a dark forest as well, because again, it will be pretty much pitch black in here. And hopefully we'll get that effect with the dark interiors. The dark interiors are a little bit on the buggy side kind of sometimes, and I think it's something that they are aware of and that they're working on trying to get fixed. If you have a big space inside a building that is enclosed, it doesn't always get completely pitch dark, and hopefully that's something they're kind of looking at, but we'll have to kind of wait on that. So I wanted to do kind of like another object that kind of moves, kind of like it's being haunted or something. So we went with this little wagon here that's going to kind of rotate and also have kind of like these particle effects too, with like this, I think we used smoke for it, and those will also be triggered as well. So everything here will be triggered. So like once the trigger goes off, it'll start spinning and also have like this kind of ambient effect, like, oh, it's being messed with, but with the particle effects. So that was a really cool, kind of a fun little effect I wanted to do right there for that little wagon. More star panels, and of course some more rock work, and to kind of cover up a lot of the concrete and like the industrial part of the building. So because we want the theming to be pretty solid, but not over the top too. And on the back side of the wall, that where your attention's not going to be, we're still going to do like some minor theming as well, just with like some more trees and the logs that are going to be there. But going on into the little cabin, it's just going to be a simple little cabin that is going to be catching fire So we actually use a little bit of the fire effects, which of course you've probably seen this scene at the beginning of the video, and of kind of how the triggered event is going to work with the glowing eyes. And yeah, I'm pretty excited how this turned out, and it turned out pretty good for the most part. And I didn't want to overdo it with the fire, but at least we have that idea. So the idea is like everything's kind of building up in this build. So like, or as you get closer to the actual drop, the drop's where it's going to kind of have its kind of climax version or part where you actually kind of see probably, I want to do like a figure that goes above right before the drop, where you kind of get to that the most intense part of the ride. It kind of has this build like now this, instead of just glowing eyes around and moving things, like stuff is actually catching fire and stuff like that. Like, oh wow, like that's a little sense of, you know, that you're in danger of some sorts. And then when you get to the splash down, of course, or the actual drop, you know, that's where the big part of the ride happens. And then you kind of have the last bit, which is kind of like your aftermath part of the ride, like, oh hey, we did it, you know, and then you get back to the station. So very nice, simple little layout. And then of course we have the moving glowing eyes that I wanted to do here on this little this is also going to be a start panel that's going to be kind of disguised into some rock work that kind of blends it into the area. And you'll see the eyes move over, and then we'll trigger the fire as well. So the eyes will move over towards the cabin, and then the cabin will catch fire as soon as it gets there. So so basically had to cover up all of that. That way, again, it kind of looks nice. So it almost kind of acts almost like as if it was a projection screen, kind of, but it's not really a projection screen. It's just kind of an animatronic piece that moves over with the lights, the glowing eyes. So I added the start panel because I feel like it would look a little bit better in the scene to have kind of like the stars and kind of match the rest of the ride. So we had to go and trigger everything and make sure everything is triggering at the right time. So again, you've seen the scene completed at the beginning of the video, so but I think it turned out pretty good. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of it, and if you have any ideas for any more scenes, because we still have like a turnaround section to do, let me know. Of course, I've been sometimes been doing these episodes back to back, so I've been thinking about doing kind of like a small pitch dark section where you can't see anything, and then maybe something like just comes out at the end, and then that will lead us up into the drop area, which I do want to try and fully have like some sort of almost like an animatronic above the flume right before it drops down, that kind of reveals the glowing eyes as part of like this like figure of some sorts. I want to do some sort of effect, but I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet for that effect, because again, it is going to be kind of like a ghost that is going to be hovering over you that drops you down the waterfall. So that's kind of like the idea of it, but I can't figure out exactly how to get like a ghostly effect. Maybe we can use some a mixture of particle effects, and maybe like make like some sort of silhouette figure if we can, to try and make it look more like a kind of a ghostly feel to it. We'll definitely mess around with that until we get kind of an idea. And then I do want to make sure that there is still like some, you know, dark ride parts where we're going to stay consistent and still build some of these like pieces inside, you know, like ventilation and stuff like that, to kind of, you know, this is kind of like make it feel more realistic pieces that just kind of work together. And I might actually be able to pull this off as an actual blueprint that we can post on the workshop as well, where you, because it's not even to 2,000 pieces yet, so I think we can keep it around 4,000 or less if we're lucky. So I'm going to try and push for that goal so you guys can actually download this as a blueprint as well for a nice little easy dark ride for your parks. So another thing featuring, speaking of the workshop, for those that have been requesting it, I have posted the park on the Frontier Workshop by popular demand, and that way you guys can go ahead and download what I have done so far. I will probably keep updating that, so it should be on the workshop. I will try and put it in a link in the description for the share code for that, so that way you guys can go and download it and check it out in the game yourself. So That way you guys, because again, I was going to wait till it was finished, but since everyone has been requesting it, specifically console players, because they want to be able to open it before I go exceed the, the piece limit, if I haven't already. I'm not entirely sure if I have. The wood coaster might might be that one that has too many pieces in it because of there's only over 22,000 pieces in that wood structure itself. So hopefully it's not too much for you console players. I would love to hear from you console players if you guys were able to open the park or not. If not, I do apologize, and I'm not entirely sure what I can do though. As much as I would do want to accommodate people on console, I'm not going to like hold back how many pieces I have, because it's my park and I just want to make the best park possible, and sometimes that requires a lot of pieces. So again, not trying to exclude anyone on console, but that's just how it is. Being a PC player, I don't want to have to play as if I'm on console, but I still think it's awesome that it's cross-platform at this point. I was testing right there just to see how many pieces we are. We're not even to 2,000 yet, so pretty cool that I've been able to keep this down. So, but I will try and upload some assets from the park as well, so you console players can still download stuff. For instance, if I can keep this under 4,000 pieces, or right around there, I will put it on the workshop. But anyways, that's about it for this video, guys, as we do build a little bit of a booth, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day and cooler tomorrow, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.